On today's show, we're given more clarity about Christian Wood's role by Jason Kidd at Mavs Training Camp. I think they have a plan for him that's been going on for a while. Isaac thinks they don't have a plan for him. We'll talk about that, his role. We'll hear from Nico Harrison about Christian Wood. And then let's hear from Christian Wood himself, our interview with him on Media Day. Talk about all that and more on today's Locked On Mavs.
I'm Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks podcast.
Hey, Dallas Mavericks are NBA champions. Bang! Bang! It's good!
And the Mavericks have won the game!
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
Welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and NBA channel manager for the Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks for making Locked On Mavs your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms, including YouTube, where the best way you can help us grow the show is to comment anything below. Let us know in the comment section, what will Christian Wood's role be eventually? And at what point? By All-Star break, is he an All-Star? By All-Star break, is he a starter? By Christmas, is he closing games? Let us know what you think about him. Joining me, as always, my co-host, writer, contributor at Mavs.com, the C. Wood Wonder, the One More Thing King. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
Did y'all know we talked to Christian Wood yesterday, or 2 days ago at Media Day?
At Media Day.
I didn't know if you knew that, but in all honesty, shout out to the great feedback that we've gotten over the past 2 days for all of our interviews from Media Day. It's been a lot of fun seeing you guys reach out and share it. So many clips are being shared from the Dorian interview, from the Theo interview, from Dinwiddie talking about Luka. So if you missed any of our interviews, go to our YouTube channel and go watch each one of them. You know, there's what, 9 total, I think, on there. Yep. All the top players, you know, as far as on the team, including Jaden Hardy, which is just a blast.
Just a joy.
Nico Harrison. You're going to hear more from Nico tomorrow. We're obviously talking a lot about our Media Day stuff throughout the week, but Christian Wood, still a main topic for the Mavs. Right
Which
now.
It just so happened to be his birthday on Tuesday. So first day of Mavs Training Camp, Christian Wood's birthday. We're still talking about his role. Jason Kidd talked about his role at practice. So
you think C. Wood went hard on his birthday?
I think he's going down the straight and narrow path, I think is what he's doing.
Yeah, I think he tipped off today.
So we'll talk about, we'll play Jason Kidd's clip from practice, from training camp with the Dallas Mavericks, and we'll hear about what he has to say. Because I think there's 2 answers that he gave that give us a little bit of clarity about what Christian Wood's role is going to be. Because we've been thinking about this. We knew that he was going to be a 6-man candidate. And then at Media Day, when we talked to Christian Wood, it seemed like he didn't know that he was going to be 6-man. Isaac just presented to him straight up. So 6-man, can I do the Isaac lean back in his chair? So 6-man, that's what you're going to do? And Christian Wood was like, wait, what? like that's the first, I'm not hearing that. And then he went to the main media session where he said, this is the first time I'm hearing of it, that he was going to be coming off the bench. Then he tweeted LOL afterwards. And so that's why this has become a big topic of conversation. Now, I just want to start with this. First of all, I would much rather be having the conversation we're having right now than the conversation that Brendan Clean is having over at Locked On Suns with DeAndre Ayton's comments. Because, oh man.
Yeah, we're just having fun over here.
This is extremely lighthearted compared to the conversation that they have to have about DeAndre Ayton and all his comments. The Mavs.
Let me ask this real quick. Not about the Suns, but with Christian Wood thing, it became a fast thing for some people. Even in some of our comments on YouTube, like, come on, guys, he was just playing around. It was a joke. My question to you guys is, like, why? Why would he lie?
That it was a joke. The way he responded when he kind of laughed in the main media session when he was asked about being a 6-man, he didn't really answer our question too much. And then he tweeted LOL. Some people think that he was just joking around and he really did know that he was going to be a 6-man and he was just kind of messing with everybody.
But why would you do that though? Why? That's not why would you create this media? I'm not in that camp. I really don't think that he knew. I think he was being honest. I think he was laughing about it because it's an awkward thing. I really don't think that he knew, or he's like, hey, I haven't talked to any coaches about it. He's seen the reports, or at least a buddy's read, Tim Cato's Athletic piece and told him before, it's like, dude, you might come off the bench. But I honestly don't think he has. And you asked him straight up, hey, have you talked to Jason Kidd about your role? And he's like, no. There was no laughing when he told you.
No.
I don't buy it. And I think it would even, like, somebody replied to us and like, come on, he's not that dumb to like not know. No, I think it would be dumber to try to create to joke and make it a story.
Like, why make it something when it's not? So yeah, I didn't think he was joking either.
I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Right.
This is our biggest story of media day so far.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, the Nets, Suns, and everybody else is.
So then from my point of view, I do think that the Mavs have a plan for him. I think that they do have this plan that they've been set out. You can play the conspiracy music if you want, that they've had this plan set out as soon as they were able to trade for him. They said, all right, we can get this guy Christian Wood. He's got some questionable things, right? Like we're not sure how he's going to be with coaches because of what happened in Houston. We're not sure if he can successfully play with a winning culture. We are like a really intense winning culture because of the group that we just had, how good they were, how connected they were, and how well they played together. Because we have to be really connected on defense to play well. And so we can bring in this guy, Christian Wood, but we're going to have to bring him along in both the like maturity factor with working with coaches and interpersonal and all that, the EQ, all that stuff. And then also on the court to figure out how he's going to fit. And by the way, we also just promised JaVale McGee that he's going to be starting. And that's the only reason why he came, which he told us at Media Day that basically we asked him why Dallas. And he said, the prospect of starting made me want to come back to Dallas.
Starting again. He's like, last time I started was with the Lakers. We won the title.
When we won a title, he really wanted to start again. And so he wasn't going to the Mavericks unless they promised him to start. Now, maybe the back and forth between him and the Bucks, they're like, you're not going to start here either. And then he's like, okay, well, I'll just go to Dallas anyway and even not start. But that really enticed him and made him come here. So let's hear from Jason Kidd, though, because he talked about this in practice, and I think he addressed it pretty well. This is 2 clips back to back. The first one is, have you talked to Christian Wood about his role specifically, all that stuff. And then the second one is a question Tim McMahon asked. How do you get Christian Wood to buy into this role? Like, how do you bring him along in this and try to get him to buy into being a 6th man?
Yeah, for C. Wood, I haven't really talked to him about that. I know my assistants have. When you use the term when you check in with 6 minutes, that means you didn't start. Okay,
stop. So the first thing he says was, I know my assistants have. That's my thing. I think we all asked Christian Wood the wrong question. I think Christian Wood had been told he was going to be coming off the bench. But the assistants told him and not Jason Kidd. So when we asked him the question, he took it extremely literally and was like, no, Jason Kidd didn't tell me what my role is going to be specifically.
I don't even think that. I don't even think they've talked about
it.
Okay. We'll get to talking about his role as we go forward. But I've never coached him. So I want to first see what he's capable of doing with the different lineups or the different combinations here in preseason. And then we'll make a decision on where he's going to play, if it's coming off the bench or starting. But right now he will not start. It will be the guys that I've talked about. Well, I think he said it yesterday, and I hope.
Okay, so then here's the second one where he talks about how he brings Christian Wood along. Like, how can you get him to buy in, even starting from the bench?
If I get it right, he's excited to win. So if you're talking about winning, you got to sometimes sacrifice. The great players sacrifice because they can shoot all the balls and not have to pass. That doesn't mean they're going to win. So I think for him, it's just a matter of understanding what his role is, what we're asking him to do. And I said that. I said, I need you to be C. Wood. And just like I told Spencer, just be Spencer. And we got a really good Spencer last year. There's no trickery to this. It's put him in a position to be successful and then participate on the defensive end.
I think that last part is what's important. There's no trickery in this. They're not trying to trick Christian Wood. I don't think they're trying to I think maybe some of it is taking a little bit too far and they're trying to bait Christian Wood into being good. They're just really bringing him along and saying, all right, we're going to start him off the bench to start. We know that we're going to start JaVale, and we know that we can start the season well because JaVale already knows our defensive principles because he played in LA. When JaVale last started, he was playing with Jason Kidd as one of the assistant coaches, and Jason Kidd is using Frank Vogel's defensive system. Frank Vogel was at Mavs Training Camp on Tuesday. They're using that system. He knows that system, and the Bang Bros, Dorian Finney-Smith and Reggie Bullock were extremely good together. So you got to do them. And then we already know that we need another playmaker ball handler next to Luka for the Mavericks offense to be the best it can be. And so it's all fitting together that way. And so it just so happens that it's working. And oh, by the way, we can also bring Christian Wood along because Jason Kidd said, I haven't coached him yet. We're trying to do what's best for him and for the Mavericks. To put him in a situation that wouldn't be ideal for him, I don't think would be the best for him.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's it. Sorry, I thought we were about to go to a break.
We can.
Yeah, let's go to a break and come back because I got to give my spiel for, I don't think, Nick thinks that there's a bigger like grand plan with Christian Wood right now to where I lean the other direction of I don't think there is a grand like plan for him right now.
We'll talk about that coming up. But before we do, let me tell you about BetOnline. Go check out everything that BetOnline has to offer. They have the odds. Bengals 4-point favorite against the Miami Dolphins at home on Thursday. If you're into the American football, if you're into just the NBA, they have division odds. Isaac, when's the last time you cared about a division?
Never.
Who do you think is favored to win the Southwest Division?
New Orleans.
Pause while Isaac figures out who is in the Southwest Division.
New Orleans.
New Orleans is plus 400. The Mavs are plus 135. The Grizzlies are plus 110. So the Grizzlies slightly better odds to win the Southwest Division according to BetOnline. Can you guess what odds the Houston Rockets and the San Antonio Spurs have?
Oh Lord, no.
To win the Southwest? Plus 50,000.
Holy crap.
You could put down $100, and if the Rockets somehow, Jalen Green turns into like Michael Jordan.
Pop said don't bet on them, so.
Not the Spurs, the Rockets. Put $100 on the Rockets. Or put $10 on the Rockets. You'll win $5,000 if they win the Southwest Division, if they're the number one team by the end. You're a Ja, a Luka, and a Zion injury away from that possibly happening. So there you go. Check it out. It's BetOnline. It's where the game starts. All right, Isaac Harris. We've been talking about Christian Wood. We heard from Jason Kidd at Mavs Training Camp about why he's going to be coming off the bench to start the season, what his role is going to be, what Jason Kidd envisions for him. I think that they have at least a plan for Christian Wood because they see his potential. They want to bring him along a little bit slowly because of all those factors I mentioned in the first segment. You don't think they have a plan like that at all?
I think he's more, if we're going to try to do an analogy, now don't laugh at the analogy here, but I think you think he's more of an ingredient of like the cake, and that when you're going to bake this cake this season for the Mavs, that he's like a key ingredient of it that they're planning out.
He's like eggs, like it binds it together. Like if you don't have eggs, like how do you make a cake?
I think he's more of the icing, and I think that's how they're viewing him. I think they looked at a situation. It's exactly why I worded the question to Nico the way I did of, was the trade for Nico? Was the trade for Christian Wood? Let's go.
Wood.
Was the trade for Christian Wood more about the opportunity, like pouncing on an opportunity to buy low on a guy that's really talented, or is this a guy that you've been targeting for a long time? And I still think that it was purely about this situation. They knew that Houston was calling around teams saying, "Hey, like we're trying to find a new home for this guy. He's really talented, but it wasn't working out there from everything. Like we know all the history with Houston, it just wasn't working out. They want to go a different direction. They drafted Jabari Smith, all this stuff. And it's like, here you go." And Dallas saw it and was like, wait, we can take the swing on this, like a talent Christian Wood. He doesn't like theoretically fit like what we like, that they had a plan to go after JaVale.
Yeah.
So like,
on the Mavericks' point of view, we just moved on from this type of player in Kristaps Porzingis. We just saw that this didn't necessarily work as well as we hoped, and we moved on from Porzingis to go with another ball handler instead. And so I don't think they're probably not planning their entire like long-term plans around this type of player.
Exactly. So he fits next to Luka and all that, but like the style of like what you said, the Bang Bros and having Spencer alongside Luka, it's like this Dwight spot. That's the definition of what the five looks like in this offense. And they're looking at it saying, we can go chase a JaVale McGee, brings the title experience, a bigger body, protects the paint. We already saw the clip today of him pinning a shot against the backboard. Like he's going to be good for this Mavericks team, but not play 35 minutes. And it's like, that's your starting unit. Like that's who's going to start. The roles are defined. But they looked at it and saw an opportunity of saying, we can swing on Christian Wood for basically nothing. Like the 26th overall pick in the draft, who cares? Like, and you basically got the guy you were going to take at 26 anyway. So you just took the swing on a Christian Wood. And that's why I think they're just viewing it as icing of saying, hey, the first night when they talked about it, he's got to prove it to us. We got to prove it to him. And they're just going to see how it plays out. Right. Like I think some fans are reading into it so much of like, oh my gosh, let's maintain the relationship. So he signs back or like all this different stuff. It's like, we haven't invested a ton of him. Like, let's see how it plays out. I think the Mavericks, that's how I think the Mavericks are going into it, saying just a clear slate. Let's just see what you're about, bro. Like, cool. Like, you might not ever start a game this season, or you might play at an all-star level and like, holy crap, we can't keep you on the bench at that point. I just don't think they have some grand plan of it. And it's just like, whatever we get is awesome. But if he flames out, and it doesn't work out, and we're looking at a month or two from now saying, dude, they're trying to get rid of Christian Wood. They didn't sacrifice a ton. Like, it's not the end of the world. And their starting unit is still there. Like, they still got some guys, a few guys off the bench. They're still going to be looking for another ball handler. Like, I just think he's icing on the cake at that point. And I think that's the right way to view it if you're Dallas, because it's like, don't put a big expectation on it.
All right, I'm going to take your cake analogy and add some Schitt's Creek to it. I think that we are saying more similar things than you think. I think that he is an ingredient, but that I think that they have to fold him in. Fold in the cheese on Schitt's Creek. Like, fold it in. Yeah. Like, what does that mean? Fold it in. They have to apply it a certain way and apply it to the rest of the mix a certain way in order for it to work. It has to start this way in order for them to possibly get the best outcome of Christian Wood potentially playing like a all-star level player, seeing the best of his potential. They have to start this way. That's the plan. It has to start this day. We can't give him everything right away. We can't just like start him and put him out in front of everybody and say, hey, we think this guy can play at an all-star level. Like, they can't present him that way and do all that. So they're presenting it this way and starting him out this way so they can bring him along. That's the plan.
I don't even think they have those. I could be wrong, but it's like, I don't think the Mavericks are going into this saying, dude, here is his all-star level. We got to get him to that all-star level.
Okay, wait. But why wouldn't they?
No, that's like cool. Like, if he gets there, that's awesome. But I don't think there's the expectation of you didn't invest enough into him to say, dude, we got to change crap around for him to make an all-star. Okay, like, you see what I'm saying? I think they approached it more of there's an opportunity to add talent,
right?
Instead of, hey, a fit and all this stuff. They saw an opportunity to pounce on talent and said, let's swing for it. And he's going to come off the bench.
Okay, so now that he's on your team, though, and on your roster, why would you not invest some in him, though?
To the extent of changing up your whole lineup.
Well, they're not. They're starting him the way that they need to, and they're investing in him.
But you think they have a plan for him to finish starting?
They should.
Invest in him enough.
They should.
I don't think they should, though. I think they can be. Okay. Let's do it this way. If Christian Wood never starts a game for the Mavericks, do you think they can still finish? Like, you think they finish a higher seed if Christian Wood's starting for this team?
I think he raises their ceiling.
See, I think with JaVale in there, I think that they could possess a starting lineup that's going to be one of the best starting lineups in the league.
Yes, I agree. And then also Christian Wood can raise their ceiling up.
I just like what JaVale brings from that spot.
Does the best version of the Dallas Mavericks exist if Christian Wood is not on the team? The best version of this specific squad.
Not on the team?
Or not on the team. Like by the end of the season, Christian Wood isn't playing. He's stuck on the bench like Jalen Brunson in the Clippers series a couple years ago.
No, you want the talent playing.
Right. This is what I'm saying. So they're going to invest some in this talent, and then they're going to bring him along because I think they need him if they're going to reach the heights that they want to hit.
Yes. Do they need him to be the starting center as the second best player on the team? I don't think they need that.
What about the starting four?
No, because I want Dorian at the 4.
Yeah, but what Dorian at the 3?
I just want 2 perimeter defenders. I want Dorian. I want the Bang Bros in there.
Okay, well,
the Bang Bros are going to finish.
Take Dinwiddie out and put Christian Wood in there instead.
No, I want the ball handler. Yes, if Christian Wood could hit like his version of Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
And it's like, let's go.
Offensive Anthony Davis.
Yeah. And he's like reaches a whole different level. And it's the Derrick Rose prophecy for him in Detroit happens. And it's like, he's so good that
Derrick Rose prophecy is
like
amazing.
he's so good that you're just dumb that you don't start him over JaVale. Then sure, great. I'm just not trying to like switch up my whole rotations or lineups and everything, because I think that starting five can be good enough to be one of the best starting fives in the league. And I don't think Christian Wood is good enough for me to change up my whole rotation and team to try to get him at like.
What if? So you don't think he can ever hit that at a certain point this season?
I'd say the opportunities are slim.
Interesting. So I think
if Christian Wood's who has a better chance to be an all-star, Dinwiddie or Christian Wood?
Christian Wood. And
Spencer Dinwiddie all day.
And this is where we differ. And you
think Christian Wood has a better chance of being an all-star than Spencer Dinwiddie this year?
Yeah.
I don't think either one of them are, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think he's more talented.
Wow.
I'd take the odds that Christian Wood hits and is really good, because I can see that. I can envision that talent hitting that more than I can envision what Dinwiddie would have to do to become an all-star, like an all-star guard. Like that. I mean, that's
Dinwiddie's
tough.
locked into his role. Dinwiddie's locked in the 35 minutes.
I'm not like super down on Dinwiddie.
He meshes with this team. He plays with Luka.
What would he have to do to be
what
would he have to do to be an all-star? Christian Wood can average. We've seen Christian Wood average like almost 20 points, and he's going to hit a bunch of threes. He's going to get a bunch of open threes. He's a better shooter. He's a better three-point shooter than Dinwiddie is.
I think he's going to have a really good season off the bench. I think Zach Lowe's, I haven't got to listen to Zach Lowe's podcast today, but somebody tweeted out a quote from him saying he thinks Christian Wood could be in the 6th man of the year running. He's going to average nearly 20 points a game and have a monster season. I think he could have a really good season if he is bought in. We loved our interview with him. He walked out and we both looked at each other. And we're like, dude, love that guy. He's awesome. And he's got the talent. I really like him off the bench, man. Like, I just love him coming off the bench. And
him and Tim is like so much offense off the bench. And I know Jason Kidd said that at Summer League, but it's very true still.
They need more offense off the bench, and they're going to get that. Him and Maxey together is going to be fun.
I mean, that's an incredible bench unit. Tim, Maxey, and Christian Wood. And
Jay Crowder.
Hey, maybe he's not going to be on the Suns. Probably. That's a mess over there. All right, there you go. We're gonna play the clip from Nico Harrison, but you can go listen to it on the full interview on YouTube. But let's hear from Christian Wood. Now that we've talked all about Christian Wood, coming up, let's hear our entire interview with Christian Wood on the podcast and hear what he had to say. And you can figure it out for yourself if you thought that he knew whether he was going to be a 6th man or not, according to what Isaac asked him. So we'll talk about that coming up. He was like, immediately. That was my first answer.
Okay, so you're in Dallas. What is the definition of a successful season this year?
Getting farther than the team got last year, which was the Western Conference Finals. So I guess you could say getting to the finals.
Yeah. Okay.
What have the teammates or Mavericks players or coaches that you've talked to? What have they told you about that run, or what it takes to get there?
They said it was tough. They told me specifically the Phoenix series was tough. The first 2 games that they played, they said no game that they have played in that series was close. Was a close game. It was either hit or miss. So they said it's a good experience, and I should just have fun with the moment.
What was your reaction when you saw the result of Game 7? Mavs Suns.
It was I turned the TV off after the crossover step back that Luka made on Cam.
Did Cam Johnson recover from that one? I don't know.
I don't know, but that's when I stopped watching after that.
Okay, you were in training camp here in Dallas.
Yeah.
Back, gosh, how many years ago was that?
Might have been 2-3 years ago. I played Summer League.
In Orlando.
Yeah,
we won an Orlando championship, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how have you changed as a professional since then?
I've just matured by far in terms of my body, my approach to the game, just different aspects of learning the game. I say I would just matured a lot.
When you were traded here, Nico Harrison,
Yeah.
when the trade finally went down, came and said, this is going to be a year for Christian Wood to prove some stuff to us and for us to prove some stuff to Christian Wood.
Yeah.
First, what do you think you have to prove to the Mavericks in that relationship?
That I can contribute to a winning team. I think that will be number one. I think you see in my career, if you look at my career, I've been on a lot of losing teams, and I put up pretty good numbers on those teams. But I think it's different when you're on a winning team or you're in a winning organization and you're trying to put up those numbers. So I'm excited to prove to people that I can do that.
Coming off the bench to start the season, sixth man, is that right? Do you know that?
I have no clue.
No clue?
I have no clue.
If you are, does anything change about your approach?
No. I'm pretty much motivated into what I want to do this season, which is I'm not going to even hold back, which is kind of be an all-star and get to the finals and help this team win some games, whether that's off the bench or starting. I'm pretty much motivated.
Yeah. So you haven't talked to Jason Kidd about your role yet, and not sure exactly what to expect.
No, we haven't had that discussion.
What are you most excited about to play with Luka?
I think he's a maestro in the pick and roll. I've played against him, and he's picked our defenses apart. So just to be on the same team as him and get to be on the winning side of that, it should be fun.
Okay, we're gonna ask you some fun ones here. Could you draw Luka's logo? Everybody's tried it so far. The pressure's. Do you know where to start?
I don't even know where to start. I couldn't even tell you.
This is Christian Wood's attempt at Luka's logo right here. I'll say JaVale nailed it pretty good.
He did. It was
Reggie
great.
needed some help, but it's all good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
What's something that's annoying about Luka? You've played against him. Now you're teammates with him. Not sure how much you've talked to him, but what's something that's annoying about Luka? Could be a good annoying or bad annoying.
I would say it's a good annoying. I would say if I would just speak on the court wise. If a play is working once or twice, he's going to keep running that same play until it's just annoying you until you have to figure out and tell your defense has to figure out how to stop it. So I would say that's one of the most annoying things.
Hopefully you're on the end of
the winning side of things.
the pick and rolls that he's just going to run over and over and over again.
Okay, if this was the question that we asked JaVale and he said you, but reality show about a teammate's life, what teammate are you picking? You had to watch it every week, Monday night, 7 o'clock.
Every week. It's a toss up between two people. Kyle.
Sure, you go for it.
All right, I'm gonna go Spencer Dinwiddie, and then I'm gonna go JaVale McGee for sure.
Okay, Brandon, who would you say? Dodo.
I feel like his would be kind of boring.
All right, we'll
Just
turn the
family,
tables back to you. Since on Media Day, you get all the questions asked to you. Do you got a question for us?
How do you expect the season to go this year?
Oh, finals.
Finals. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to the finals.
All right. I like that.
Let's do this.
I like that.
Let's
We're going
do
to the
this.
finals. We're going to the finals. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
Yeah. All right. Bro, appreciate it.
Thank you
stuff.
guys.
So good
Thank you
meeting you,
guys.
man.
No, good to meet you guys.
Good to have you here.
Good to meet you guys.